there's a project I've always wanted to do, and I was finally able to do it. I want to give a big thank you to Detroit Violin Company as well as Connolly Music. I'm going to put links to their stores in the description so you can check them out because they help make this possible. I've always been confused by all of the Vision strings because there's Vision Solo, there's Vision Titanium Solo, and Vision Titanium Orchestra. And I really did not know the difference between one or the other. So I wanted to test them all out. Now, I've had these for quite a while. I actually probably should have made this video a while ago, but I really wanted to make sure I knew all the strings well. So I spent about a month with every single string so they'd settle in, and I could really get a good idea from it. And the first one I tried was actually the Vision Titanium Solo, but I want to start with the Vision strings because that is just the general ones. Now, looking at the packaging, I thought it was going to be a warm string because this is the, it has a nice little warm color compared to the Titanium Solo and Solo. Maybe, I don't know what it would be like for orchestra, but the Vision, the regular ones, actually were the brightest, or at least brightest for me. When I put these on my violin, and I have a Mingjingju AAA, also it's called the 909, I feel like it's a very neutral, maybe a little bit brighter strings, but this was really bright on my instrument. And if we look at the sound, it says it's quite brilliant on here and a bit of a focused sound. So this was not at all what I thought it was going to be. After that, I then tested I had the Titanium Solo first. So compared to the Titanium Solo, it was actually brighter than the Titanium Solo. So I'm going to get to what I feel like Solo means in just a second. So it felt a little bit brighter than that. The Titanium Orchestra was definitely the warmest. I almost felt like the orchestra was the most natural sound. It felt very, almost like dominance, but a bit more focused. Sometimes dominants have a little bit of a bright and shimmer to it that I don't always want. And this seemed a perfect fit for that. And the solo had something similar to what I would say the Titanium Solo was like, but just a little bit darker, kind of in between what this and this was. So as far as brilliance, we have kind of brightest, a little bit warmer, but I want to talk separately about the solo. Now, what does solo mean? I almost want to say that means it's not as evenly balanced. Now, that's not actually a bad thing. What I mean by that is that the lower end, the G and D, are quite rich and warm, and as you get to the upper strings, it's much brighter and a little bit louder. And if you're looking for a soloist type of string that you can play and really, sing on those upper notes, but have a nicer tone on those lower notes that blends in a bit more, that's where the solos might come in. The titanium ones, at least for this, is just a little bit bigger sound, a little bit louder and brighter sound. Now, I don't feel like that's the case for Titanium Orchestra. So it's not that titanium is all across the board, and I almost want to ignore that a little bit. So this is a little bit bigger sound. This is a little bit more subdued, kind of if you like maybe a dominant but want to be a little bit more soloistic, there you go. But if you like something a bit cleaner, a bit louder, this would be the way to go. If I compared it to some other big names on the market, I would say this is similar to an Obligato, maybe a little bit cleaner sounding. This is kind of similar to an Eva Prazi, maybe not as high tension. I actually have not compared the tensions. They have them on here, but I haven't compared them. And even though I have a tension chart on the website, it can differ from one company to another exactly how they test that. So I don't want to be exact that one is more than the other. So those are my gauges with the strings. I like the Titanium Orchestra best myself. Because I'm not playing solo in front of orchestras, this felt more natural, like my instrument could sing. If I just wanted a little bit brighter, I'd go to here with a more soloistic tone. If I wanted just a brighter tone altogether, I'd go with the regular Vision. And if I wanted something really bright and focused, I'd go with there. But I think what I want to show you here is that the Vision regular ones are actually not a neutral string in my opinion. That is where the orchestra one comes in. I will also have a written version of this on the page at violinstringreview.com. I'll put a link to that in the description. So thank you very much. If you have any other questions on these strings, please leave them in the comment section below.